Okay. Weird. YouTube's acting weird today. Hmm. Your inventory, sir. It is a full. I'm wondering if what's his name's going to show up in the stream tonight, because he kept asking me what my crypto wallet address was, and I finally set it up. So we'll see if he actually donates cryptocurrency. I would be hilarious if he did. Oh, there he is, Mulo. I put the crypto, supposedly, and I've never used Trust Wallet before, but I put the crypto key so you can send me money to my Bitcoin crypto repository, if I understand that application correctly, with the key I put in the description. There you go, buddy. Now you can't ask me that question anymore. I guess it generates a key based on what type of currency you're sending. But that key right there is Bitcoin. Weird. Anyways, let's go down. Ah, here we go. What a jump. That dude's got a crawl blade. Regal. Yeah, well, I mean, there's different versions of currency on there, so I can create, I guess, a key for any currency. I just have never used it before, so it's all new to me, man. Like, if you go to the app, Well, let me kill this guy first. I don't want to die.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah, it's got, let's see, it's called Trust Wallet. And if I open up Trust Wallet and then you click, so there's Bitcoin, there's Ethereum, there's BNB. So you said you want to send to BNB? Okay, let me open up BNB. I go up to BNB and I click Receive, and then I click Copy. Okay, now, since I copied that, I will have to send it to, so give me a second here. I will have to send it to one of my Discord servers. Okay, paste. Here, I'll give you the BNP. The BNP. Yeah, I don't know, man. I've never used this before. It's all new to me, man. So I just sent it to, I think this one. Or was it this one? Ah, no, it was this one, actually. So this one here would be BNB. Actually, you can see it starts. Well, here's the BNB one. So you can see it starts with, see like how the other one started with BC for Bitcoin, and this one starts with BNB for BNB. But anyways, there you can't ask me about it anymore because I set it up. So here. And here's the Discord link for anybody who wants to. There's the Discord link for anybody who wants to join the Discord. It's pretty laid back. Just make sure you don't overly swear or be a jerk, because if you do, you'll just get. I'll just ban you. Yeah, Trust Wallet. So I can send, receive, buy, and trade with this. It looks pretty cool. I get my bonus tomorrow. I was thinking about buying some Bitcoin tomorrow. Through Robinhood. I know a lot of people don't like Robinhood, but Robinhood's not so bad. All they do is they pick the time that they choose to purchase something, so they can do it in a way that they make money, but they're not charging you any money to do it, so who cares, man? It's free, baby! And if it's free, I'll take 3. Ooh, this machete could be an upgrade, actually. Let's see. No, I don't think it is. Yeah, it's not. 2.5 is definitely not an upgrade. I got a lot of cloth. Nowhere to put it all. You think on Oh no, you can buy Bitcoin on Robinhood, but a lot of people don't like Robinhood because Robinhood basically buys stuff when they want to. Like, you know, they don't put the order in right away. So like if you put an order in a Robinhood to buy something, they don't have to put the order in until they just have to do it before the end of the day, I think. So they kind of manipulate things, and then they can basically, like, if you sell something, I don't know, they do something funny where they're basically trying to get money. But it's like, honestly, who cares? It's like, if you know that that's what they're doing and you agree to that, then and if you're okay with that, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, as long as you understand how they're doing it and you're okay with that. I mean, they don't charge you any money to use it. I used Robinhood, and I've bought lots of Blizzard stock and sold Blizzard stock, and I've bought Tesla stock and sold Tesla stock, and I've always made money with it. You know, I never lost money. It's probably not the best program to use, but it is free. But yeah, I can open up here. Let me open up I've got it on my phone right now. Let me open up Robinhood. So if I go to Robinhood and I go to cryptocurrencies, right? So if I go to crypto, and they have Bitcoin, so I can buy Bitcoin right now on Robinhood. It's currently at $61,402, and you know, right around there anyway. I can buy my one share of Bitcoin for $61,400. Holy crap! This guy's just gonna keep. The respawn, man. The respawn on the server is insane. But I wish I would have bought I wish I would have bought Tesla back when about a year ago, because I was going to. I just didn't have a lot of extra cash at the time, which sucks, you know. I'm gonna take a big potion there because I don't want to die in here. Oh, I didn't need to use a big potion. I could have used a little one. That was stupid. That was stupid. Ah, oh well. I'm trying to debate whether I want to be an alchemist or if I want to keep going down the path of becoming an engineer or a blacksmith. I haven't decided yet. Being a paladin, you're a lot less likely to die because you have a lot more abilities to keep yourself alive. So you're not necessarily. It's not like you have to go like engineering for target dummy or you have to go alchemy. So I'm trying to think what would be best for me long term for the paladin in Season of Mastery. What would actually be the best way to go? I'll have to look at the recipes of things I can actually make in vanilla. Alchemy is always good. I want to get something that's going to help my tanking. Actually, the only stock I have right now is, believe it or not, is Riot Games stock. That's the only stock I own right now. I've got quite a bit of stock in Riot Games, and I'm actually playing the long game. I'm actually playing the long game with Riot Games because I'm hoping that when they release their MMO, that becomes a huge success, like massive success. Of course, it probably won't because we all know how MMOs go. But if Riot's MMO did become a really big success, I mean on a huge level, like they got maybe 3 million regular players, which is feasible because they got the IP. Everybody knows about League of Legends, and they're going to be basing their MMO off of the lore that they've already created for League of Legends. So they've got the lore, they've got the IP, they've got the talent there at Riot Games to make an MMO for sure. They've got the art staff, they've got the polish, They make very polished content. All you have to do is go to any League of Legends, any Riot channel and watch some of the videos they've done on their characters and stuff. So yeah, I bought a bunch of stock in Riot Games, and I said, you know what? If they make, I screwed up. If they make a really good MMO, their stock might actually go up a little bit. Maybe I'll make a little bit of money. But honestly, I should have bought all the Tesla stock back, a couple years ago. I just didn't have all the extra cash then. I could have made some serious money. I would have bought about, $10,000 worth of Tesla stock like a year ago. I would have made myself like $100,000 or something almost. I think it's gone up well, not 7 times. It's gone up 7 times. It's gone up 700%. So would have made myself quite a bit of money. But yeah, I got to figure out what professions I want to do in Season of Mastery. I'm not sure. I mean, we have survival professions like alchemy and engineering, but then we have professions like your inventory's full. Then we have professions like blacksmithing, which is really good too. And we are kind of dependent. I mean, really, I want to go I want to go engineering for the shield. For the engineering shield. I can't remember, but the recipe does drop in Molten Core. So if I went engineering and could get the guys in MC to get me in a raid and hopefully get me that drop, that would be one thing. But I mean, what are the chances of that? What are the chances of me being in a lot of MC raids as a paladin, and what are the chances of them getting? I'd have to talk to Cargos about that. Let's see if there'd be any kind of a chance that I could get into an MC raid with a paladin. I don't even know. Just have to wait and see. I don't think I'm going to do alchemy. I don't know.
Be careful.
What brings you here?
My goods are of the highest quality.
These all just respawned. Oh boy. Grind is real. Bitcoin. Send, receive, BNB. Buy BNB. $150 buys you 0.251 BNB. These shamans are annoying when you're on a character that has no interrupts. No interrupts, no stuns, anything like that. Sucks. What's pancake? What is pancake? I've already got a headache just from, for no reason, having a headache. Well, this toothache is giving me a headache. I probably should go lie down. Oh, this headache just won't go away. Stupid tooth is killing me. This is where it gets really shitty when you have two of these shamans healing each other. And you have like no interrupts. It's like really annoying. Oh, we did get that one down.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
I'm not gonna do this quest. If it's gonna take that long just to kill one shaman, it'll take forever. Hey Zolson. Not much. I'm not feeling very good. My toothache is, that tooth I pulled is still bugging me. The pain from that hole in my jaw. Or maybe I may have to go lie down or something, take some Advil. Oh. Trying to get the Paladin up a little bit. I want to see how well that Ret Reckoning build works again. Let's go this way. We can turn this other quest in. I get my bonus tomorrow, Zolson. I get my bonus tomorrow. Tomorrow's not payday Friday. Tomorrow's pay effing bonus Friday. It's always a good time of the year when you get your bonus.
Peace be with you. Ashath Villa.
Mm. It's too slow, man. The leveling here is slow too. I don't know. Not until I get to Darkshore. I should skip these quests. I need to figure out which ones I can just do quickly.
Can I assist you?
Oh. Keep yawning. You actually, last step you need is actually the smart chain BSC, not BNB? Are you trying to hack my wallet, dude? Oh, you need the smart chain. Okay. Mm. Yeah, hold on a second. Discord. Still dealing with that. Yeah, dude, it hurts, man. Yeah, I mean, pulling the tooth, it just... I got pulled on, what, Monday? It's still healing, but it's still, like, you know, sometimes it hurts more than other times, you know? Like, sometimes it really kills. Let's see. Mulan. Hey, Mulo. There it is. I should have sent it to you in the Discord. Because I see you're in the Discord. The Mulan. Anyways. But yeah, that's the... That's the smart chain BNB. I don't know how this wallet stuff works. But one of these days we'll probably all have like trust wallets in the future, you know? Yeah, thanks, Zolson. I appreciate that. Man, it hurts. It's just like my whole jaw, like where they pulled the tooth, Olsen, that whole side of my jaw swelled up, like a lot. Like there was a huge swelling on the side of the jaw, and then the teeth around, or the tooth around in front of the one where they pulled it, got really sore, and it just hurt, and it just aches, and like earlier today it wasn't bothering me, but the more I talk too, the more that aggravates it too. So when I stream a lot of times, it starts to get sore. I've been taking a lot of Advil, but honestly, even the Advil really isn't helping that much sometimes. Alright, if we turn this quest in here, we'll probably get the tumor quest. And then we can run right back out and we can knock out 4 quests. We can do the Blood Feathers quest. Wait a minute, I got a notification. I received 0.0109 BNB. Thanks, dude. I have no much deal with that, what that is, or like how much it's worth. That's awesome, dude. It's so weird. Here, hold on a second. I got a notification on my phone. $6. Thank you, sir. Thanks, Mulo. Here, I'll let's see. It says, I have no idea, dude. It's $6. Thank you, sir. I guess Smart Chain BNB is valued at $557 per. Of course, Bitcoin is $61,273 per. Ethereum's $4,507, and BNB straight up $557. Actually, BNB and Smart Chain BNB are, I guess they're the same thing, because the value's the same thing. I wonder what you can start trading Bitcoin. Could be cool. Hey, we know my wallet works, Mulo. If anybody in the stream wants to send Bitcoin to my trust wallet, feel free. Mulo just did. Thank you, Mulo. He's the one who made me get the smart wallet. So, all right. So, mossy tumors and yeah. Let's do the mossy tumors. So there's like 5 quests over here. We got mossy tumors, we got silver spinnerets, we've got the blood feather belts, and we've got, okay, so there's 4 quests, and then we've got the escort of mist. So we're gonna do those 4 quests, and then we can go ahead and head to Darkshore. But I wonder if one day if we'll all be transferring money via just cryptocurrencies. It's possible. I mean, it makes more sense than swiping, cards and shit. You can just like swipe phones, or swipe your phone against a machine. Just like, yeah, here you go. I mean, you can do that even now already with like Apple Pay and stuff, but oh, sorry, Zolson. Let's talk about WoW. So Zolson, actually, let's talk about World of Warcraft. Zolson, I'm trying to figure out what would be the best profession for my Paladin for Season of Mastery Road to Ragnaros Hardcore. That's like a mouthful, isn't it? We didn't put the hardcore. I'm not doing hardcore. What else? Let's hold on a second. Where's the... Let's add another image to the overlay. And we're going to call it Paladin. Okay. Now we have to see. What do we want to use for our Paladin image? We have lots to choose from. This one's kind of cool, but that's a priest image. I like the tabard with the cross on it here. I wonder if we can, let's see what we can do with this one. Now let's see if we can change the, can we change the transparency of it? Nah. I'd have to go into Photoshop and like, manipulate it. Yeah, we're gonna delete that one. We'll have to come up with some sort of a transparent PNG or something. So Zolson, yeah, what profession do you think? Cyrillian, what's up, dude? How's it going, man? Cyrillian's in the house too. In the house. So Cyrillian, what do you think? I'm asking anybody in the chat. What do you think would be the best profession for my paladin to level up on Season of Mastery, hardcore Season of Mastery Road to Ragnaros Challenge? Keep in mind that the paladin, what I'd like to do on the paladin is do a lot of tanking of the undead instances, and maybe like UBRS, LBRS, BRD, to help the guildies get their gear, to get geared up for their raids. Once it comes time to actually do like the MC raid, I may actually switch my... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I could take a paladin into Molten Core. I suppose I could. I mean, the utility would help, but they probably would want me to be a healer or something. I mean, the options really are engineering, but I don't think engineering is that great. I mean, if you got the recipe from Molten Core for the shield, that would be great. But, I mean, what's the chances of getting that? It's not like we're going to be running Molten Core every day. And even when we do get to the point to run it, it'll be a while before we're even geared up to run Molten Core. So I think then you're looking at just straight up blacksmithing, you know, armor smithing or weaponsmithing, or maybe alchemy, right? There's already going to be a ton of alchemists. I think I'd be better suited to go like blacksmithing. Maybe like, I don't even remember what the best items are from blacksmithing and you know, weaponsmithing and armor smithing in World of Warcraft vanilla. You think? Well, the thing is, there's going to be so many people doing alchemy. So that's the thing. Once you get 60, once you get to 60, you can trade with other hardcore people in the guild. So I could just, you know, people in the guild could probably, I could give them reagents and they could just make me potions. So I don't really want to do alchemy because I know there's going to be a ton of alchemists. Ah, see, I knew you were going to say, but there's already going to be alchemists. And alchemy is so boring. It's so boring. It's awesome. Oh, man. I think the stressful thing about Bitcoin is for losing it. Losing your keychain or whatever it is to the location. You know, how do you lose it? There's that one guy, remember that one guy who threw away? The true story of the guy who literally, like, didn't he, like, throw away a computer or something, and they had his Bitcoins on it or something? He spent, like, a ton of money trying to find it, and I think to this day, he still hasn't found it. Alchemy. I mean, alchemy is good, no doubt. But wouldn't it be cool to have blacksmithing? To have shield spikes, to have sharpening stones, to have weight stones, to be able to actually make maybe some armor I could wear? Of course, that's only temporary though, because you know, once we get to 60, we'll be able to run dungeons, so I'll be able to get, you know, gear from dungeons. So then crafting my own weapons is kind of not really be needed anymore. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, Saran. Well, I was just thinking leveling, but you're right. I already arrived to the conclusion that you said, which is basically at 60, we'll be running dungeons, and then all that gear that I could possibly make would get replaced, man.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Alchemy. Everybody always wants to go alchemy. It is very useful. I'm trying to think how to help the guild out, though, right? Like, we know there's going to be a ton of people doing alchemy. I mean, there's no doubt, right? So what would be a good profession to do to help the guild people out, right? To help people in the guild out. mean, you could go enchanting. It's kind of an unusual... Yeah, I don't usually go enchanting on like a plate wearer, but I mean, you could. Yeah, well, I told my friend to buy Tesla stock last year, and he didn't because he didn't. I guess he didn't have the money, and you know, it's gone up over 700% in the last year. So he messaged me. He's talking to me the other day, and he's like, "Man, I should have bought Tesla stock when you told me to." And I was like, "Well, you know, it takes money to make money, and a lot of people just don't have a lot of money to sink into those things." But that's why I always say the rich get richer, because you know, if you got money, it's a lot easier to make money when you have money. You know. And did you say? Yeah, I know. I saw you said potions. I know. Everybody's saying alchemy. You guys suck. Enchanting's a good one for the guild, of course. It's good. Enchanting is very... I mean, I do have a recipe in my bag here for elixir of minor agility, but you know, I'm probably going to get a bunch of those as I level up, you know. Please be level 10. Good, he's not level 11. Alright, I gotta take some painkillers. This is killing me. Where's the Advil? More Advil. I've taken so much Advil. Look at this shit. Look at this guy crushing me. I can heal too, buddy. It's Einbay! Einbay, I don't think I've seen you in a while. What have you been up to? Einbay! So everybody wants to go potions, and then Cerulean said maybe enchanting. So enchanting or potions. Enchanting would be cool. I mean, I'd love to get life stealing. I think, what is that? Is that skull? What is the life stealing recipe? Drops in what? Stratholme, I think. I think it drops in Stratholme. I know, so if they're thinking... I know they're going to min-max. Actually, that's something I wanted to talk about in this stream, actually. So if they're going to be min-maxing... Yeah, that's true. Yeah, consumables are enchanting. Dia de Muertos. Oh, interesting. Well, enchanting's so annoying because it takes a while to level up. You missed all. I've been all over the place, Einbay. I even thought about playing Guild Wars 2 last night. I was so close. I watched a really good video, Einbay, on Guild Wars 2, and like, let me see if I can find it. It's actually a really good Guild Wars 2 video.
Since release with all the expansions. If you want to get a
wasn't that one? This is it. The Mighty Teapot. The Mighty Teapot streamer who seems to have a pretty good following, and I like his video style. And he's got a video that he put out in September 2021 dispelling the 11 biggest misconceptions about Guild Wars 2. Let's see if he's... And so, Guild Wars 2 is a dead game. There is no end game. There is no progression or grinding. There are no well-defined roles. Guild Wars 2 is for casuals only. These are myths, right? So he dispels all these myths, right? There are no prestige rewards. The game is in maintenance mode. The game is PvP oriented. Everything is in the cash shop. Not necessarily true, but there are some things that are like heavy cash shop, like mount skins. The game is pay to win, and the game is not an MMO, which I always think is kind of funny. But if you watch this video, what does Chad mean? What does Chad content mean? Oh, I should know that. Urban Dictionary. I'm not hip with all these terms. Chad. Stereotypical young urban white male. So, really? Is that what you're saying about him? You're still your number one, huh? You might play some Guild Wars 2, Zolson? Yeah, the only problem I have with Guild Wars 2 is I find the combat to be a little bit non-impactful. You know what I mean? Okay, I got you, Anbei. I find the combat to be a little bit non-impactful. They did, hey, let me show you guys this, though. They did update Guild Wars 2 to, they do have a 64-bit beta mode right now, so you can go into 64-bit. And actually, he's been with the game forever. There actually was a really good video I'm talking about the 64-bit as well. I watched a bunch of videos on Guild Wars 2 the other day. And one of the cool things, I don't know if it's this video. Let's check it out. It might be this video. Let's listen.
Guild Wars 2 is a game that, despite its continued solid player base,
listen to
always
this.
Seems to be surrounded by negative opinion and doubt.
I think it still said beta, though. And actually, I know it did on the interface. Watch this. Let me show you. But I know the beta is probably over because they put it into beta, what, like months ago? Like, months ago. Yeah. Oh, it's the DirectX. Well, that's what I meant. It's the DirectX 11 is beta. But bit, right? Let's take a look. So my only problems with Guild Wars 2, really, there's only couple problems I've had. And it's interesting because the problems that I've had with Guild Wars 2, he actually addresses in his video. One of my problems with Guild Wars 2 is the lack of impactful combat, okay? And even here, like when I'm shooting an arrow, I mean, you can't even see it. Like, I don't even see an arrow flying through the air. I mean, it kind of flies into the ground, I guess. So I would like to see a little bit, and I'm the kind of person who says that, but I will say right off the bat, the graphics are just fantastic. I mean, look at this wheelbarrow. Look at these graphics. I mean, they're just absolutely gorgeous. But if you look at the character model, and I also like the fact that Guild Wars 2 has an offset camera angle, and that's something you can adjust, which is really rare in MMOs. Most MMOs do not allow you to move the camera left and right behind your character, but Guild Wars 2 does. And that's why my character is way off to the left, because I actually moved it that way. Which is a little bit too far to the left, to be honest. I probably should move it back a little bit.
You're a fool. Rock tears through paper.
Is this like those rock-cutting scissors you had yesterday?
Yeah, there we go.
Really good scissors.
Let's move it back to, like, this feels a little better.
Crazy. I love you so much.
Yeah, the color and the shadows. Look at these shadows.
Rock-cutting scissors. I win again.
Look at the color. Guild Wars 2 has the best use of shaders. Like, their shaders and their shading and their colors are just so good. I just love the stonework here. And the variations in the stone, you know? But, okay, so the problems I have with it is the character models, like the skin, like look at the character's skin. It all has the exact same skin tone. It just looks like it's all like the same color. There's no variation. You can't really get zoomed into the character very closely, unfortunately. Let me see if I don't know if there's any way I can really do this. I'm looking for like a heel. A hill, not a heel. It's kind of hard to zoom in. But the character looks kind of, her skin doesn't have any variation. For as good as the game looks, like the textures and stuff in the game, the character models to me for the characters seem a little bit lackluster, and the hair also is pretty bad. Like the character's hair is pretty, it just looks like a fairly flat piece of, whatever. Looks like a piece of bent paper. But the combat to me feels a little bit non-impactful, I mean, I'd love to see a lot more arrows coming out, more visible stuff, And this is just the hunter. You can pull up any of the other characters, and But of course, the graphics like that, the animations and graphics are really good. And kind of like Final Fantasy, sometimes the graphics can go overboard, where it's kind of difficult to see what's going on. Like if you have like a big PvP battle in Guild Wars 2, same thing as like Final Fantasy. It's a little difficult to see what's going on because there's a lot of spell and animation effects. So combat means a lot to me in MMOs, and that's why I'm really picky about combat. And I feel that Guild Wars 2 combat, to me anyway, leaves a lot to be desired, But I really think they could do better with the character models, but with Reshade, I think I have Reshade installed. I don't think I have it set up for Guild Wars 2.
I saw this hunter who had a doggy. It was bigger than me, and it said woof.
I don't know which one I have. I've got a certain Reshade thing installed. I just don't know. I can't remember what it's called. It's been so long since I used it. Remember, I used it in Final Fantasy. I don't think it's called. It's called. It's very similar to Reshade, but I don't think it's called Reshade. G-Shade. Oh.
Side of the game's.
It actually wants me to close Guild Wars 2. So right now I have it set up for Final Fantasy. Guild Wars, did I can't remember if I installed Guild Wars 2 on this. I did. I did. Setup will install late, but what about DirectX 11? Currently it's targeting 9, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is wrong. Because I'm using DirectX 11. Let's cancel. Anyways, I'll mess with this a little bit later. Yeah, I mean, I'll be playing Season of Mastery a ton, so... Yeah, I know, G-Shade is basically just based on Reshade, but you can use G-Shade for Guild Wars 2, I would imagine. But anyways, I wanted to show you this video, though, really quick, and then we'll jump back in maybe into Guild Wars 2.
Community. And whilst it is true that the game's development has certainly had its ups and downs, the golden age may finally be dawning. With that...
So listen to what so that statement he made right there, Iron Bay, is really interesting, because he said, development for Guild Wars 2 has had its ups and downs, and it has. Because what happened was Arena Games, ArenaNet, whoever really made Guild Wars 2, they actually worked on some other games. They were actually working on other games that they thought might take the place of Guild Wars 2. So they kind of let Guild Wars 2 fall almost into a state of almost maintenance mode for a little bit. Remember about 3 years ago? And then those games turned out to not really work out. And now they're kind of turning it back around and developing or devoting more time into Guild Wars 2.
That in mind, and an expansion on the horizon, I think it's just about time all the myths and misconceptions about Guild Wars 2 get nicely tidied away, removing all obstacles from luring new players into joining the game and getting trapped here forever. Guild Wars 2 doesn't do a particularly good job at advertising exactly what the game is and what it has to offer inside the game or out, so I don't...
So when you say the original devs are returning, how do you know that? I mean, how do you know the original devs are returning? I mean, this guy's basically saying that it sounds like they're starting to devote a lot more time to Guild Wars 2. And we've got the new expansion coming, Well, they had some layoffs. They did have some layoffs, but Guild Wars 2 is doing pretty well. Like there's still like quite a few people logging in like every day. Like I'm talking like 100,000 people logging in daily, which is that's good enough to make you pretty good money, you know. Mystery net statements. Here, let me take this Advil because my mouth is killing me. The more I talk, the more it hurts. I've got one hydrocodone left, but I don't want to waste it. What? What? Drope equals great. Okay. So, like I said, I think the character models could do with a little bit of work. You know, I think they could revise. I mean, the art style is interesting. Snort it, snort the hydrocodone. I bet it would hit good then, man. Oh, I wish I had more of the hydrocodone. It's not the liquid form though. The best codeine I ever had was this liquid. It was like red. It was like this red liquid, and I got it when I had my knee surgery, and they gave me like a bottle of this stuff. And it was good. I mean, it was like when I took some of that codeine or whatever, it was like doing like a little line of cocaine, and maybe it was like drinking about 3 beers and doing a line of cocaine. That's what it felt like, which is to say it felt pretty damn good. But I would like to see them do more with the. Yeah, let's go back to this here. I would like to see them do more with the graphics. I think they are talking about it though. I mean, they are talking about. I mean, there's rumors that they're working on a visual update to Guild Wars 2. Rumors. I don't know if there's any truth to it, because I mean, let's face it, this looks pretty damn good. You know. Yeah. I mean, but you can see it's like, okay, so what I wanted to show you is if you go into the options, if you go here, see enable DirectX 11 rendering, which is it says it's beta, right? But I can tell you that putting it in DirectX 11 is definitely a good thing. You know, my FPS is, and I've got a pretty damn fast computer, and it's only coming in at 81, so that's, you know, that's a little surprising that it's that low. But, I mean, it's certainly high enough to perform fine. Are they good? Yeah. Let's see if we can find something to kill. I just want to talk about the combat. How to me, the biggest problem I have with Guild Wars 2 really is just the lack of the impactfulness in the combat. I don't have a problem with the art style. I think the art style has always been one of my favorite things. You know, just, you know, the ground doesn't feel as solid beneath my feet as like on like World of Warcraft, and I don't really know why that is. These textures don't look very good. Like this wood texture looks like total shit. Look at that. I'm not sure why it looks that bad. I mean, I think I've got the graphics turned up pretty much all the way. Yeah, I have textures on high, shadows ultra. I mean, you know, character model highest, model highest, depth blur. Yeah, so I'm really surprised that these textures look like this. I mean, look at this. What is this? This is crap. You know, and look at this texture here. It's terrible. But then you go to like this, and this is nice. This actually is good. I like this. This is a nice texture. And like I said, the wheelbarrows are really nice. These are really good. So I guess there's some areas of the game are just not as good as others, but... You can say it's bad because it's from 2012? It's the same thing you say about Final Fantasy. Get into the higher zones and it'll be pumpkin carving, and it'll be better, right? So let's take a look at the combat, right? I would like to hear a lot better audio sound effects on that, to be honest. Trying to remember all the abilities. Yeah, that one's not bad. That one's not bad. Well, there's quite a few. I mean, there's a difference. I mean, is it an engine update or is it just like an overhaul? It's like Skyrim added upgraded textures. So that's not really an engine update, right? World of Warcraft has gone through multiple engine updates. Like they've done a ton of engine updates. Let's see. Trying to think of other ones. Lord of the Rings Online has added higher res textures for the characters, for the character models. Trying to think of other ones. Black Desert Online has done multiple updates to their game engine. Not all of them are really obvious, but they have done updates. You know, they've done the Black Desert remastered and all that stuff. You know, so they've added quite a few different like visual updates to their engine. Final Fantasy did they do one? So there's quite a few people who have done them. You know, but to me the combat could just be more impactful in this game. That's and the Hunter's probably one of the worst. You know, the Hunter, like these like I don't even see the arrow. Like when now I see it, but sometimes I don't see it. Like there I didn't see it. There I don't see it. I guess when I'm shooting at the ground, I guess. Yeah. And also, there's no arrow hitting this wall. It's just like a white line that goes into nothing, and I don't like that either. I mean, I'm just being nitpicky, but you know me. I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. So they did a huge overhaul. Yeah, 1.0. They redid the whole game. Yeah, it was the infamous Cerulean. It was the infamous potted plant that had like it had like 800 or 1,000 polygons or something, like way more than you should just for like a plant, and then they put it everywhere. Yeah. You target or aim with your camera. I'm not sure what you mean by target or aim with my camera. Do you mean go in first person mode? I'm not sure what you mean. Or you mean go into options and do something different with the camera settings? What happens if I get rid of enable first person camera? Just won't zoom in all the way. Yeah, we don't really want that. Invert camera. Oh, I see what you're saying. What do you... MMORPG ladder? What do you mean? You mean like rank them? Disable camera shake. I've never really noticed a camera shake on here. Top 5? Well, as much as I hate to admit it. Wait, there's an arrow. I saw an arrow stick. So it does stick an arrow in there for like, but it only lasts for like a split second. I would like to see him stay. I mean, it looks the same to me. I mean,
Time to do some real damage.
Wow, that's funny. I never tab target. I don't tab target in Guild Wars. Like, I just shoot. I had never tab target. You know? Yeah, I don't tab target. Yeah, I hate to say it, but WoW would have to be #1. Just because there's too many things in WoW that are actually really good. Like, I think what really takes WoW to the #1 spot is just the dungeons. I've never played an MMO that has dungeons that are as cool as, like, you know, as like UBRS, LBRS, you know, Strathholm. Those are just fun dungeons. So the counters are fun. They're challenging, you know. I do like that skill. I love that skill. That skill's so cool. Anyways, Guild Wars 2. Good game. For sure. But it doesn't have, you know... Here. Oh, you want to... Yeah. So, I mean, really, WoW has to be, like, probably #1. If I list MMO... Okay, if I list my favorite MMOs based on the fun I had, like the fun I had playing them when they first came out, Terra would be #2. Like, if I just base it on how much fun I had in the first, like, month of release of an MMO, Terra is a solid #2. Okay? And then I would probably put, you know... What would I put next, though? #3, I mean, I'd probably... It's kind of close between, like... I mean, there's Lineage 2 I really liked a lot. Lineage 2 was really fun because it really kind of was that old school, like, grind. Like, big-time grindy game, you know? But it was the first MMO I ever played, so it definitely holds a special place in my heart, you know? Because it was one of the first ones I ever played. But yeah, it would be WoW, World of Warcraft, Terra. Then probably, man, I'd have to put like Guild Wars 2 and like Black Desert at number like Guild Wars 2 and Black Desert. I had a lot of fun playing both of those on launch. Like, so I'm trying to think of, you know, how much fun I had when the game first came out. You know, that experience the first month. I'd say Guild Wars 2 and Black Desert were pretty much dead even. You know, I probably had more fun in Black Desert, to be honest. When Black Desert first came out, I had a blast the first like 3 months, because Black Desert was a different game than it is now. Black Desert's been entirely ruined by all the pay-to-win mechanics, and just the mechanics in general in the game are not like they were when it was released. When Black Desert first came out, it was a much slower, you know, it was a much slower leveling process than it is today. You know, now you can just level to max level in like an hour, you know. But so we have, where's Guild Wars 2? And we've got World of Warcraft. Let's see, what else can we do? And then we have Black Desert. So these are definitely in the top 5. Guild Wars 2, Black Desert, World of Warcraft, and Terra. Let's do this one. Terra. Where'd BDO go? God, they're like forcing me to change my password. Okay, so we have Guild Wars 2, right?
Listen up,
Pack
troops.
soldiers,
We've
move
got
out!
dispatches coming in from the jungle, and it's looking pretty grim. We don't have the full story yet.
So here's like,
Based on preliminary assessments,
here's like the
we
kind
have
of,
to prepare for the worst. Our orders haven't changed. Hold this fort at all costs. We lost the fleet, but we're not losing the Silver Waste.
I don't know why I'm getting invited to a group, but
Sandball is now the primary rally point for survivors. The Pact is relying on us to hold this ground. Look sharp and do your jobs. Mordramoth won the first round, but this war is far from over.
anyways, we have Guild Wars 2, right? And the combat is like pretty good. It doesn't have like the impactfulness
Save yourselves!
of some other games, but it's got some cool stuff, you know. But see right there, like when I swung my sword in front of me, it's just very non-impactful. I think the sound effects are what bother me on Guild Wars 2. Some of them are really good, and some of them are not so good. Some of the it's Guild Wars 2 is funny because it really varies based on what character I'm playing, and based on what moves I'm even doing. Like some abilities are fantastic and feel impactful, and some don't. You know, it's kind of all over the board. Yeah, this is the first expansion. I never got through it. I haven't done it yet, Einbei. I haven't done it yet. So I think I've somebody. Was there people here inviting me to a group? Maybe, possibly. Let's see them. But see here, look at the combat, right? I mean, there's no... It's even kind of hard to see who I'm even hitting, right? You know, this is not impactful combat. And it's kind of hard. Like I said, it's very difficult for me to even see what I'm hitting. Like, I can kind of see who I'm hitting because they're in front of me. But I don't really see, like, the impact very well. It's not very clear. And that always bothers me with combat systems, you know? Like, it should be much, you know, much more clear. Where's my mount at? I guess they won't let me use my mount in this particular area. I'm kind of I want to do the event. You live the Dagger Elementalists? No mounts in story? Oh, okay.
I don't have enough energy.
Follow the green stars. Oh, here are the wolves.
You'll be here
Oh!
for days.
Man. Somebody messaged me. This person's got a cool pet. Is that somebody's pet? Because that's neat. I want a pet. This intro's taking a while. Look at her blue outfit. She's got a dragon.
Feel the fury. Time to do some real damage.
She's got a glider. I don't have a glider. I don't have anything like that. I don't have anything in Guild Wars 2. That's why I don't like the game, because I haven't done anything.
They'll have to hit much harder.
That's a mini world boss. Oh, okay.
Time to do some real damage.
Commander, I'm glad you're here. The Mordrim are more aggressive than ever.
Mordremoth is making its move. It destroyed the fleet, and now it's pressing the advantage.
Don't let me keep you. The soldiers in the jungle need your help even more than we do. The Pact has secured access to the jungle. It's not much, but it gives survivors a way out and reinforcements a way in. It's nearby. A Sylvari Tough and the Sura progeny are already there waiting for you. They said they know you.
Replenishing.
Rejoining the fight.
We've got things under control for now. Follow the commander
Feel
to
the
the jungle
fury.
and take the fight to Mordremoth.
Bam!
Bam! Oh, somebody bit the dust.
Help here.
Oh, was she? Ooh. I don't even know where they went. Oh, they went there. Is she making fun of me? I'll see you, Cerulean. I guess I'm the one who's instigating the cutscenes, right? I have to get to the certain green points, and that's why she's getting a little bit mad at me because I don't think I was moving forward, but I didn't know it was me. I mean, they were talking to me though, but I don't know. I don't play Guild Wars 2 hardly ever. Okay, is there supposed to be audio to that? Because I'm just seeing a bunch of vines twisting around. Making a big tree monster, maybe? Yeah. Oh, I'm scared. It's Treebeard. Treebeard. Oh. Oh, so that was the whole intro to Guild Wars 2, the Heart of Thorns. Do I want a crowbar? Or do I want silky sand? Or
And that's
oh, I guess I get all three. And that's that.
Time to do some real damage.
keep forgetting I have it bound to... I have my going into action cam bound to control middle mouse click, so... Was there audio there? Well, I don't have play instrument volume. I had audio. I had environment turned up all the way, effects turned up to here, dialogues turned up to max. So there should be audio. I don't know what's going on. I mean, there's no music. You know me, I hardly ever use music. I guess we could. Yeah, I don't use music in Guild Wars 2. No, thank you. Yeah, there was audio. There just was no music, probably. Yeah, I think there was just music there, and that's why it seems so quiet, because I didn't have the music turned on. You know, which is... You know... But I don't want to hear this all the time, you know? It's like, ugh. But we have the dialogues turned up all the way, so... Anyways, I just wanted to show you, like, the Guild Wars 2, you can see even in those different encounters, the combat is very... It's just very non-impactful. And then if you go to, like, if we go to
I've seen injuries quite like the ones they're sustaining in the wastes here.
If we go to World of Warcraft, and you look at the combat in World of Warcraft, the difference is the sound effects in WoW are very, you know, the combat's clear. It's easy to see what you're hitting, you know. The sound effects are decent. They're not amazing, but there's not a lot of glitz and glamour in World of Warcraft, and that's why it makes it so easy for, you know, for PvP. Hold on a second, we gotta turn this audio down. So when you're in WoW, like, it's really no frills combat. But you can hear this. You can hear me hitting him. But it's not very amazing either. But there is, you know, you can hear the thunk of the mace hitting the mob.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Keep in mind, I have the volume turned down pretty low for in-game, you know, for WoW. So if I turn it up, you can definitely hear it, you know?
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Well, the combat in WoW is very easy to see, you know, it's very clear. Spell animations are really well done because you know when someone's doing something, you can tell what they're doing. It's like, oh, you can tell I'm casting a heal. That makes it great for PvP. So when you PvP in WoW, it's really easy to counter people's things because you can see what they're doing. If someone's going in for, you know, a frost bolt, especially with the casters, you know, you can kind of tell what's going on. But then you go to the ultimate combat, which for me is Terra, because Terra is my favorite combat system of any MMO. You know, I love how they convey your attacking cone, your cone of attack. Like, you can see the arc of my swings, right? Which gives you a pretty good idea where you're going to hit, right? See? Like, if I move a little bit off, I'll miss, right? Like if I'm a little too far away, like right here, I'm going to miss. Because I'm too far away, see? Once this arc gets close, like right there, and there, it's going to hit. Right? The combat's just really good. It's amazing combat, really. The fact that I can go in one direction with one skill. That's one skill. Rising Fury is one skill, right? I can start this skill. I can hit a mob over here in front of me, right, with Rising Fury. And then I can go hit this other guy, right? So if I go this way, and then I can turn around and go hit this guy. That was the same skill, right? It just has two different taps of the key. It's one of the coolest skills in any MMO, in my opinion. Yep. But yeah, to me, Terra is the ultimate combat. And the cool thing about Terra is it's so reactive. I mean, when you're doing PvP, again, the skills are pretty easy. I mean, that's a pretty great animation. It's like, it looks good, but it's easy to see what you're doing. Same thing with like this skill. I mean, pretty easy to see that it's the combative strike. You know, obviously my AoE taunt right there, and this character has very few skills because she's only level 15. I'm kind of the other cool thing about Terra that I talked about yesterday is the enemies have multiple hitboxes, right? So there's a hitbox there on the back left side, and there's a hitbox on the back right side. There's a hitbox right there on the front right side. And actually, I just noticed something. If you notice the damage numbers showed up on his face twice, I think that's probably because you were making contact with 2 hitboxes, because I wish I could show this to you guys. I tried to find the image of it, but there was a great image back on the internet back in the day that really showed it, and it was Terra. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. It's too bad because they used to have it. Someone had done a really cool image on it. Yeah, and I don't see it. Yeah, if I go a little more descriptive, probably not going to be able to find it. But it was really unique. It was unique in that, like, you know, if you hit a mob in the back, you did more damage, and there were certain crystals you could slot into your gear that would increase the damage you did when you hit a monster from behind. And you had crystals you could put into your gear that would increase your critical chance to strike if you were attacking from behind. And a big ass monster had, as far as I know, had at least 5 hitboxes. There was the front head hitbox, there was the front left shoulder hitbox, the front right shoulder hitbox, the back left hindquarter hitbox, and the back right hindquarter hitbox. AoE grinding. Yeah, so that's Terra's combat, which is, in my opinion, the most impactful. And I wasn't even using like the most impactful class. If you do like I can't remember which one it is. Here, hold on a second. If you do new character, the Berserker is like crazy. Oh, you can't create. Oh wow, you can only have 2 characters. That's amazing. And of course you have Black Desert, but we've all seen Black Desert. You said grinding is not enjoyable in the long run. Oh god, my tooth is killing me. Yeah, grinding's fun if it's like Black Desert is the best MMO as far as grinding, just because the combat's fun, right? Like the combat's so good in Black Desert for that type of style of gameplay, which is, you know, AoE farming. In fact, really the end game in Black Desert revolves heavily around just AoE farming. In fact, that's why when you look at character class reviews and tier lists, they rate them usually on early game grinding, late game grinding, PvP, small PvP, large scale PvP, and one-on-one PvP. That's usually the 5 areas that they usually rate classes in Black Desert. Yeah, the problem with BDO's combat is it's not as situational and reactive as Terra's combat. Terra's combat is, because the way the hitbox, like in BDO, you can just kind of wave your weapon in front of you, and as long as the person's somewhere near it, you usually hit it. Terra, you have to be a lot more accurate with what you're doing, right? You know, like in BDO, you're just like this, you know, and it's very quick, right? Oh, I'm not sure what that was. So like in here we go, and we've got all these mobs. So Terra's really built around this kind of AoE, but there's so much stuff going on, you know? Trying to remember my skills. It's been a while. Trying to remember, there's this one kick. Is it this one? No, it's not that. Not that one. No. And that just recovers your mana, and then you have another skill I have is I have crystals on the sorceress here. You can see them on the left side here. See these? This says times 20 right here. These are my dark bright crystals, and you can use those to use another ability that I have here. Like I'll show you. It's a pretty cool. It's actually one of the better abilities. At least I think it's one of the better ones that you have. Yeah, I can aggro like a bunch of mobs here. Just try to group them up. And here's the skill. Oh. And it just throws this explosive shard. It's called Shard Explosion. There's that skill. There's a skill here, right here, which this red one. That actually generates health for me. And of course, there's the Black Wave one here, which is actually pretty powerful. This one, powerful. This skill here actually does. This one here, right there, does quite a bit of damage. That one there you can see has a really big knockdown on it. This skill right here. Didn't knock him down there, but it does have a pretty good chance to do a knockdown. And then this one here, again, health regen, and then this one here is, I can't remember what it's called, but it also can be set up to do a pretty good stun on it. But the thing with Black Desert is it's all more around, it's more around like when you're doing PvP, it's just like, you pull off a couple stuns and you do like combos. It's really repeating the same type of things over and over again. So it's not as like players are trying to get you into a stun combination. Like they're trying to pull off one of their stuns. Once they stun you, they're going to go through a rotation of abilities that are going to do a heavy amount of damage. And if that misses, then they go into whatever type of evasion or other abilities to wait. A lot of times to wait for that stun to come back off cooldown so they can try to get you in the stun again. So a lot of it's just getting in stuns. Terra's not really like that. Terra doesn't really have hardly... It has stuns, but very few. There aren't like a ton of stuns in Terra. It's more about just outplaying the other player by just hitting him. By just using abilities to actually, land, attacks like this, So... Lost Ark is isometric, though. Yeah, the combat in BDO is the second best. Well, I mean, if you're talking MMOs, BDO probably has the second best combat, in my opinion, next to Terra. If you're talking just... I mean, there are other games that have combat that's better, like Vindictus, I think, is... Man, Vindictus is probably the most unique and best combat of any, like, MMO-like game, but Vindictus is a hub-based MMO. It's not an open-world MMO. So you really can't, compare it to these other MMOs because these are fully like open world MMOs. But Terra, yeah. So if we go back to like my favorite MMOs of all time, I would say World of Warcraft number 1, Terra number 2. I would say Ion number 3. I forgot about Ion, so I would say World of Warcraft, Terra, Ion, and then I would put Guild Wars 2 and Black Desert probably tied. Oh no. Actually, we forgot another one that I actually like better. Here, let's do it this way. Okay, so we're gonna do my top, Julian's top 5 or so MMOs. It's trying to autocomplete. All right, so 1's gonna be obviously WoW. 2, I'm gonna put Terra in there. Terra. 3's got to be probably Ion, just because it was really good when it first came out. But it's hard to really like. I'm rating these based on my experience of playing the games when they came out. Because like Cyrillan said, MMOs change so much over time. You can't really, review. You can't really review them like today. You know what I mean? You can't really review them as they change over time because like they get dated. Like Ion's very dated and it's not as good now as it was then. So I'm just reviewing them. To be fair, I'm reviewing it based on my personal enjoyment and experience of the MMO within the first like month or two of the release of the MMO. So based on that experience, WoW number 1, Terra number 2. Terra's a close number 2. I had so much fun in Terra on release. Ion number 3. And this next one might surprise you guys. I'm going to probably put Rift at number 4. I'm going to put Rift. This is going to be a cop-out. Actually, you know what? Let's do Guild Wars 2 and Black Desert and Black Desert. I'll put those as a tie for number 4, and then I'll put Rift at 5. Rift. So that's my top 5 or so MMOs, and really, Guild Wars 2, Black Desert, and Rift are fairly close. But Guild Wars 2 is just the art style and the story are a lot better than Rift, and Black Desert, just the combat is so much fun. And the graphics of the world. And Black Desert has some of the best crafting and trade systems of any MMO. Like, the fishing is really good. Oh, the other thing about Guild Wars 2 I wanted to mention to Einbei is that Guild Wars 2 now has fishing in it. And I'm super stoked because it actually looks good. So anyways, this is my top 5 MMOs, right here. And I think these are all great games. And they're all still playable today, except Rift I think will be shut down pretty soon. And Terra's probably going to get shut down pretty soon as well. Although you can play on the private server here as much as you want, and I have not seen another single player on this private server, but the server itself runs in Miami, Florida, and man, it runs good. It runs really good for me. Fantastic. It's just like playing the game when it released. The only difference is it's just tuned way, way, way down, so the mobs are nowhere near as difficult as they were on release, which sucks. But outside of that, it plays fantastic, so... Okay, so back to Guild Wars 2. Yeah. So you get to look at, but I think it's fun to look at those games side by side. You can see how Terra's combat is really just worlds above, I think, the other games. It's just so much better. Oh, you want to see ESO? ESO's combat I would say ESO's combat's the worst, and the questing in ESO is pretty good. Like, I would say, now again, remember, this is based on my enjoyment experience of the game on its release. It's not fair for ESO because the release of ESO was kind of messed up. It wasn't that good. So we'll say ESO. I still think ESO probably comes in really 6th, and it might even fall behind something like, Lineage 2. I actually think Lineage 2 was more fun than Elder Scrolls Online almost. But yeah, ESO is just the combat is so bad. It's just, and it's so like inconsistent. Like, some characters the combat's better than others. It's very consistent. One thing about World of Warcraft, the combat's very consistent. The game was very polished. Now, even when it came out, like when it came out in vanilla, there were some bugs and stuff, and there were some things that weren't super good, but the combat and the main systems were pretty polished. They worked very well. Terra didn't run into too many issues. That game was very polished. Ion, there was some buggy stuff in the combat, but Ion had flying, which Ion was the first game where I had wings and I could fly around. Like, you could actually fly for long periods of time with your character, and you had combat in the air. You could fight people in air combat, which was really, really fun. So, yeah. Yeah, but ESO's not even close. Anyways, guys, I gotta take a break. My head's really killing me. So I'm gonna take a little break. Yeah, I mean, I will be. I would say out of the MMOs that are out right now, I'm gonna play Season of Mastery a lot, probably because of the challenge of it. The challenge of it's gonna be really cool. Actually, let's see. But I do think I do want to play Guild Wars 2 some because there's so much. You know, we didn't finish that video. I don't know if I still even have it up. But
Don't blame players for not knowing what's going on. And over the years,
But this video is actually really good. There's also another video if you guys don't ever watch. I'm sure Einbay knows Wooden Potatoes. But if you watch Wooden Potatoes, he did a good video too, talking about the story moving towards the end of Dragon's expansion, which is coming out, I believe, in February or March, Einbay, of next year, I think. He's got a review on here. Ooh, I didn't know he's got it.
Great innovator give up so easily on that promise.
Let's take a look at his review of the End of Days.
I won't.
Or the End of Dragons.
I'll find a way to save us all.
Welcome, guys. Well, as said, I did want to review further days of the End of Dragons beta. This is the first beta going on. 3 elite specializations are available. I've been playing them in as many places and contexts as I find fun, trying to figure out different builds and gathering some of my feedback. So today, I'm actually going to review 2 days in one. I'm going to tell you everything I did.
This guy's one of my favorite Guild Wars too. I just like the way he talks about stuff, and I don't know, I like his presentation. I think he does a good job.
On day 2 of the beta, and then everything I did on day 3 and what we kind of took away from them. So first of all, day 2, I only played one of the elite specializations, and I'm not going to linger on very long. It was another PvP day. What can I say? I had so much fun coming out of the first review that in PvP that I just wanted to play more of it, but I spent all day this time in ranked. Before it was kind of casual, easy breezy, fun, unranked stuff among a lot of other people testing the elite specializations. The second day, I played it purely in a much more competitive sense.
What did he do? What did he do that made you lose his respect? I don't know what he did. I watched some of his videos and I like him. I've never known that he did anything bad, but
I was trying to win the games. I was trying to play strong builds and make a build as strong as possible. I spent the whole time hours and hours and hours on the Harbinger. I didn't play either of the other 2 specs. So where did the Harbinger manage to take me? You guys might find this curious. Obviously with both Heart of Thorns and Path of Fire, once those actual expansions came out...
So he's really just talking about the PvP and stuff, but he did a video on the story which looked kind of neat. He compiled all the videos together. I don't know where it is. My gum, my teeth are really hurting. My whole mouth hurts right now. My tongue hurts, my tooth hurts, my jaw hurts, everything hurts. And I can't really, I mean, I can brush my teeth, but I can't brush that side of my mouth because I still have stitches in the gum. I don't see it, but I know he's got a video. It's basically all about the story, the whole Guild Wars 2 story leading up to End of Dragons, and it's like just basically all cutscenes. So if you're like me but you really should play through all the content. So before End of Dragons comes out, you should, obviously go through all the expansion content. And same thing with Final Fantasy, obviously, but Final Fantasy, we forgot about Final Fantasy. So where would I put Final Fantasy in here? Oh God. I mean, right now, honestly, Final Fantasy would probably come in right about here. That's probably where I'd put Final Fantasy right now. But, just based off my initial impression of the game, and I mean, honestly, I could almost put it behind Lineage 2. Like the first impression of Final Fantasy, like the first 20, 30 levels is pretty bad in my opinion. It's not that great. The only thing that saves it is the good story. Yeah. Oh, his Guild War 1 story. Oh, he's a lore master? I'm just bummed that I don't see his story. Let's try this. Is it called End of Dragons? This is it right here. This is the one.
What's going on, and hopefully you're invested in the expansion. You'll be seeing all the major story beats from the...
So he put this video together, which is a story recap for End of Dragons. So it's pretty cool. This kind of goes through, and it's 43 minutes long, and if you're interested in the story, it's pretty cool. Hey Mulo, have a good night, dude. Thanks again for the donation. I appreciate it, man. But I thought this was pretty neat, and I love the art style. Yeah. But if you're just interested in some of the story, this is... And Guild Wars 2 cutscenes are really... I think they're really good, you know? They do a good job with their cutscenes.
Tyria. The dragons have always been here. Sleeping deep beneath the earth. Beneath the sea. Waiting for the time to rise. "100 years ago, the drowned empire of Or rose from the sea at a dragon's command. A dragon whose name is written in the legends of the dwarves. A dragon known as Zaitan.
I don't know who this voice actor is, but they need to give her a raise. She's got a great voice for voice acting for this type of content. But yeah, I don't want to play the whole video. You guys can watch it, but on Wood and Potatoes channel, he's got this immersive Guild Wars 2 story recap. I think it looks really interesting, so definitely check that out. I think, you know, we talk about MMOs, and what MMOs have the greatest chance to basically kind of have a resurgence. And we saw Final Fantasy has always been strong, but because of Asmongold, because of the fall of World of Warcraft, it's had a huge resurgence, or maybe insurgence of new players. But I think Guild Wars 2 is uniquely positioned to have a great resurgence. I think it's going to probably, based on everything I've seen in all the videos I've been watching over the last couple of days, I think it has a great chance. And them adding the fishing and the actual little boats that you can get on and kind of like, you know, take your boat out to a little different area to go fishing, and those types of things they're little things, but they mean a lot to a lot of players. There's a lot of players that like doing that stuff. You know, Black Desert has, you know, sailing and stuff. And if you can add things like that into the game, all you need is a couple good systems to hook people into your game. And then once they're hooked on that, then people in the game who know the other systems can teach them those other systems. But Guild Wars 2 has, and also in that video, that other video I made, he was talking about how Guild Wars 2 PvP was kind of abandoned. Well, now they're changing all of that. And like Guild Wars 2 is always, to me, the biggest thing is the PvE has always been kind of a clusterfuck, right? It's like I've never really understood the PvE. Like they have too many weird things, right? So if we go back to the other video, I want to talk about all the different types of PvE, right? So it's Guild Wars 2, you know, myths of, I don't know if we can find it with myths of, but where was it? It was Teapot. Mighty Teapot. Teapot, Guild Wars 2. Damn it. That's... I can type. Mythos.
Over the years, a lot of incomplete or out-of-date information is piled up into a...
So here, one of the myths is that the game is PvP oriented, so...
bright future. Hopefully. The game is player versus player oriented. Funnily enough, this used to very much be the case.
And he says it used to very much be the case.
Most players have forgotten the original concept of Guild Wars 2, but it absolutely started out as a game with the player versus environment warm-up, leading into playing both player versus player and world versus world as the main endgame.
Yeah, when I played Guild Wars 2, world versus world was big. People were doing it, and it was a big deal.
And it shows. Go and watch early reviews of the game. Everybody is raving about World vs. World being amazing and a game changer. However, as the game evolved, ArenaNet definitely moved the game into having a large focus on player versus environment, and I can say with confidence that Guild Wars 2 is very much a story-driven MMO, with a heavy focus on open-world content. That's not to say the other game modes don't exist, they're very much in active development, especially with the new leadership team, but the majority of development resources go into open world and story. Everything is in the cash shop. Guild Wars 2 is a free-to-play game with a very low box.
Where is it? This is an interesting one here. There are no well-defined roles, because remember, Guild Wars 2 didn't have your typical Trinity system, which I always think is a huge bad idea. Don't create an MMO and don't have the Trinity. If you don't have healer, tank, DPS, I think you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot right in the beginning. I think that's a terrible idea.
Guild Wars 2 has a very flexible build system where you can blend a lot of roles together rather than necessarily dedicating to one of the classic tank, healer, or DPS roles. Some would say healers didn't exist at the start of Guild Wars 2, and this is not actually really accurate. There weren't that many options for healers, that's certainly true, but the fact is, content was not designed with healers or tanks in mind, and was much more focused on active mitigation and quickly destroying opponents rather than sustaining damage with healing. So while the builds were possible, they didn't exist in the metagame because killing things really fast was better. This, however, has changed with the release of the expansion packs, and there are now a huge amount of dedicated healers and support builds available to play in every game mode, and content to match, even on professions you might not expect, like Warrior. The fluid role system is still in play though, and often the build you play will do more than one thing at the same time. You might be tanking and healing and doing damage per second, or doing damage per second and applying offensive and defensive support effects, all at the same time. However, and this is the crucial part here, the game gives you a huge amount of freedom in choosing how much of everything you want in your playstyle. If you want to go for a full-on pure defensive support healer, there are options.
Sounds like
it. If you fancy a pure glass cannon, the game has that too. And yes, you can be a totally unkillable monster that even the toughest bosses won't break through.
That's kind of cool.
Guild Wars 2 is a casual-only experience with no challenge.
Okay, and he says that the challenge is there if you want it, but it's not always. Like, the leveling and some of the thing isn't very challenging. There is no end game. This is an interesting one. I just think this is a great video.
There is no endgame. This probably stems from the very early days of the game where certain parts of traditional MMO endgame were a bit lacking or even missing, particularly raids. The PvE endgame at the time was more focused towards open world content,
there's a lot of variety,
and story-driven dungeons. Additionally, player versus player and world versus world, open world player versus player, were not very well fleshed out systematically or reward-wise, leading to the game feeling a bit non-existent. Fortunately, the game is 9 years old now, and thanks to the lack of vertical progression in the game, every addition the developers have made to the endgame is as relevant today.
Okay, and so the vertical progression we're talking about is gear-based. Like, WoW has huge vertical progression, which means every expansion you get better gear, more stats, more health, you do more damage, so you keep going up, up, up. Guild Wars 2, you get to level 80, and I believe that's it. You don't level up anymore, so it becomes horizontal progression. You start getting different special class specializations and different builds and different options with your builds, but you're not really getting better gear. You know, you're not really getting better gear, or you're not really getting like a ton more health. Maybe you get more based on how you spec, possibly, but it's more based around getting more variety of specializations you can customize with, right? I believe that's more like what it's like. And that's one of the nice things about Guild Wars 2 is you can actually step away from the game, come back, and you don't feel like you are completely lost, like you would if you played World of Warcraft in Legion, and then you came out, not Legion, that's not a good example, but you played it in like Burning Crusade, and then you came back in Legion, and you'd just be like, oh my god, the talent trees would be totally different. Everything would be different. Everything. You wouldn't even know what you were doing.
As it was when first added. As you might imagine, this has led to quite the build-up of endgame activities to participate in. For player versus...
Oh, I love this video because this is good for me because I haven't played, even though I leveled a character to level 80, and I've got all that on a series. If you guys want to watch my level a Guardian to 80 without any boosts, like I leveled from 1 to 80 without using any experience boost whatsoever. I wanted to get 100% map completion, but that's holy shit, that's hard. It's type. I got about 51% map completion going from 1 to 80 without any experience, and that's really most of my experience with the game. And so this video is great for me because it helps me understand where is Guild Wars 2 right now. And because a lot of these concerns that are in here are concerns I've had. Like, there are no well-defined roles as far as, well, there's no Trinity. That was always a concern of mine. Guild Wars 2 is for casuals. That's a concern of mine because I don't really see that the PvE is really there. And then, but it is. I mean, there's no prestige rewards. The one thing, there's no PvP rewards. Like, when you played Guild Wars 2 initially, in the PvP, you didn't get any. Like, for, like, winning matches or getting rank, you just got cosmetic stuff, which I thought was a big mistake. I think you should get usable items that are, usable. Because I think people want that, The game is in maintenance mode. There was a really scary time when they laid off a bunch of people in Guild Wars 2, and it just felt like it was dying. So that's and that really scared a lot of people. But it's not like that anymore. And he mentions in this video that they, at the time when they laid off a bunch of people, they were actually actively developing other projects. Those projects didn't pan out, which worked out really good for Guild Wars 2, because now they've, like Einbase said, I think they've brought some of those developers back into the fold, and they're working on Guild Wars 2 again. And I think they see Guild Wars 2 as being something that can really have a huge revival and can come back and become one of the top MMOs. Like, it already is, but it can actually, WoW's fallen apart, right? So now that WoW's really falling off, it's giving Guild Wars 2 a great chance to just leapfrog WoW and become, like, probably the second best MMO out there. Because really, we talked about it already. What other MMOs are there? You've got WoW. Terra's dead. This is my top MMOs based on how much I enjoyed them on the first couple months that I played them. But we've got WoW. We've got, and these other ones are all dead. We've got WoW, Guild Wars 2, Black Desert. Black Desert's never going to be... Black Desert's in a bad situation. I don't care what anybody says. There's a great video out there where a guy says why I quit Black Desert after 8 years or something, and it's a great video. And if you watch that video, you will truly understand what's wrong with Black Desert, and it's not good. It is not a pretty outlook. I would not recommend Black Desert at all at this point in time to anybody. And Final Fantasy, you have to really be able to get past the combat, which I have not been able to do yet because I don't like the combat. But Final Fantasy has the best story out of any of these games. The storytelling in Final Fantasy, and the fact that developers in Final Fantasy love to develop for the gamers, which is huge. You got to have a team of people working on the game that care about you as the gamer. If that's not there, you're screwed. So, but I would say really, you got WoW and you've got Guild Wars 2 and Final Fantasy. To me, those are the top MMOs right now, and then ESO probably after that. I wouldn't even put Black Desert up there because I see Black Desert in a really bad situation right now, and I don't think it's going to get any better.
Environment, this includes 20 fractals, which are a replacement for dungeons, including 3 hard modes, 7 raids, containing a total of 20.
Okay, so let's go back, because he's talking now about the PvE. This is what I wanted to play for you guys. He's talking about what PvE content is in the game now, because to me, the problem with Guild Wars 2 was that there's too many different types of PvE. I've always liked, the reason WoW hits it out of the park is their dungeons are the best. I don't care what anybody says. The dungeon design in World of Warcraft is the most, it's like the best experience for someone like me who comes from Dungeons and Dragons. When you go into Lower Blackrock Spire or Upper Blackrock Spire or Blackrock Mountain, it gives you that dungeon crawling, that gritty, you're in there and it's tough, man. There's bosses you pull that'll kick your butt, right? You try to do the Emperor, it's hard. It's not easy, right? And that, I just don't think any other MMO does dungeons that good, And I can't comment on Final Fantasy's really raids or anything because I haven't played them. I haven't done any raids in Final Fantasy, and I really can't even comment on Guild Wars 2 because I've only done a couple fractals.
Is as relevant today as it was when first added. As you might imagine, this has led to quite the build-up of endgame activities to participate in. For player versus environment, this includes 20 fractals, which are...
So see, there's 20 fractals. You know what? I'm going to write this down. Guild Wars 2 PvE content, right? 20 fractals.
replacement for dungeons, including 3 hard modes, 7 raids, containing a total of 23 encounters and 12 hard modes,
7 raids,
strike missions, which are easier, more bite-sized raids featuring bosses from the main story, 10 dragon response. As you might imagine, this has led to quite the build-up of endgame activities to participate in. For player versus environment, this includes 20 fractals, which are a replacement for dungeons, including 3 hard modes, 7 raids, containing a total of 23 encounters and 12 hard modes, 7 strike missions, which are easier, more bite-sized raids featuring bosses from the main story, 10 dragon response missions, which are scalable story instances that have a few simple difficulty modes. And that's just what's comparable to other MMO endgame.
Okay, so, but the problem I have with this PvE content is it's all weird. It's like the names are really bizarre. Fractals is kind of weird. Okay, raids, everybody knows what a raid is, right? But strike missions, that's kind of strange. And then you've got dragon response missions. I question the naming of these things, Yeah, just, whatever. I mean, I guess once you get to know them and understand what they are, you understand it, but it's just it can be confusing for a new player. New players like, what do I do for PvE? Oh, you can do some fractals, or you can do some strike missions, or you could do some dragon response missions. You're going to have no idea how to do any of that stuff, right? You'll be like, I don't know what he's talking about, fractals.
Since the launch of the game, 27 new maps have been
added. Yeah, that's right,
MB.
It's always agreed that screws it up.
Or some other kind of large-scale group activity.
Oh yeah, WoW's dead. WoW's way dead now.
Achievements and collections that will last you a lifetime. What is true is that ArenaNet hasn't ever quite figured out exactly what they want for the endgame in player versus.
So that's interesting when he says
environment.
When he says right there, he just said right there that ArenaNet never really knew what they wanted to do with the end game for player versus environment. So they kind of buckshot out a bunch of different types of things, like boom, we're just going to shoot out all these different types of things that you can do, but we don't really know what we're going to focus on. But he's going to tell you right now that they have decided, or at least he thinks they have decided on what they're going to focus on going forward for PvE and end game content.
Out exactly what they want for the end game in player versus environment, which is why you see so many different types of content in various states of abandonment, and this has led to some pretty big gaps in the release schedule. The good news is that looks like it's changing with the upcoming expansion, with 5 strike missions releasing on launch with hard modes shortly after. This strongly implies a dedication to this sort of content
to strike missions,
onwards. Yeah. And because strike missions are essentially reused and repackaged content from the story, it might well be consistent.
I still think it's good. So you're saying
Wars 2 also has 2.
So you're saying I haven't unlocked any of that stuff? Is that what it is, Imbe? Because to me, I think when I play a character from 1 to level 80, it's like I don't remember doing any strike missions. I don't remember doing any fractals. I don't remember doing any of those things. When I leveled 1 to 80, none of this stuff came up. Maybe it did and I missed it, but I certainly don't remember fractals or raids or strike missions or dragon response missions. So, and that's a pretty sizable playtime, 1 to 80, and you haven't been introduced to any of this stuff. So if it was introduced, I missed it.
2 other game modes.
Or forgot about it, which is highly likely with my memory.
In there, if you do get bored of player versus environment, that have very well fleshed out endgame gameplay pathways too. A proper ranked ladder with very good rewards for playing and placing highly, automated tournaments.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is 1 to 80 is a very, like if you're leveling 1 to 8, when the game launched, right? If you leveled 1 to 8, I don't even know if 80 was the max level when the game launched, but 1 to 80 takes time. Like, it's not like you could do, I mean, if I play a game for like 2 weeks to get to max level and I'm still not aware of any of the PvE endgame content, I don't know, man. I think they could do a much better job of introducing the stuff much earlier on. Traditionally, I can't talk because my tongue hurts too. Traditionally, I don't know why, but my tongue is burning. I think I'm because of the tooth they pulled. I've not been brushing my teeth as much because I'm trying not to irritate that side of my mouth. So I've been using, gargling salt water and stuff. And I think my mouth's getting irritated or something. But traditionally in MMOs, as you level up, you introduce dungeons like. You stagger them. Like you hit level 15, there's some dungeons you can do. You hit level 25, maybe some more dungeons. You hit level, 45, more dungeons. You hit max level 60, Then you start introducing raids. Well, 80 is max level. I mean, it's just I'm sorry, but they did not do a very good job of introducing it in the 1 to 80 content. Maybe they did a better job in the later content, but to me, that seems like a lot of playtime to not be introduced to any kind of real. And then there are dungeons. Don't get me wrong; they definitely introduced a few of the dungeons, and I did a couple of them, and they sucked. They straight up were terrible. And the reason they were terrible is because everyone I went in had like a really high level character in there who had amazing, gear or something, and he just ran through the dungeon and killed everything. Everybody else ran as fast as they could, just trying to keep up to the guy. Everybody else was running so fast, just trying to keep up to these high levels that were just flying through these dungeons. And it's not like you were really playing the dungeon. It's like trying to go through dead mines in World of Warcraft with the level, with the level 60 with, fully geared out, You're just trying to keep up with the guy. It's not fun. It's basically what I'm saying.
Every 3 hours, and a special monthly tournament which gives a unique prestige title.
Yeah, it's not traditional, that's for sure.
For World vs. World, this is still a little bit of a work in progress. ArenaNet just remembered this game mode existed very recently. And
I like how they said ArenaNet just remembered that World vs. World existed recently.
It's being heavily reworked to be very guild-focused and more competitive. World vs. World does, however, just like player versus player, have a...
Now this is something I can sink my teeth into. World versus World is something if we could get a lot of people in Guild Wars 2 doing this, I'm all in. I love the idea of huge battles with, World versus World. I think that's fun because it promotes community and promotes the server community. Like you're all working together to improve your players on the server so that you can go up against other servers. I think that's fantastic.
Proper reward structure right now. Very much in line with the rest of the game, albeit perhaps a little on the slow side. Despite not really changing a crazy amount over the years, the player-driven component of open-world player versus player in World vs. World has done a really good job keeping players engaged, and it's very much alive and kicking today. In fact, it's one of the most popular activities in the game. So the good news is, pretty much everything in Guild Wars 2 is, and always will be, endgame. And there's so much of it now that as a new player, by the time you get through half of it, more will be released with an update. There is no progression or grinding. This one is definitely understandable because of the way progression works in Guild Wars 2.
I did some over in the
Unlike
beginning. It
many
was
other
fun.
MMO titles, Guild Wars 2 has no vertical progression. That is to say that gear does not get better over time. A best-in-slot item from 9 years ago is still just as good today. However, what the game does have is horizontal progression. But what does that actually mean? Well, it means you spend your time grinding to make your character look prettier or to unlock different playstyles and builds, rather than simply more powerful playstyles and builds. And there is a huge amount of this to grind. Guild Wars 2 has a reputation for not having a grind, but it's much more accurate to say that all the grind is totally optional. You can play the game just fine without much grinding at all, but if you do like a bit of no-lifing, then to be frank, if anything, the game has far more to grind than most MMOs out there. To truly max out on all of your quality of life and fancy skins will cost you hundreds of thousands of gold. And when most players are capping out at farming 30 gold an hour, you can see why that's going to take a little while. A very common target for most players are legendary items. These items not only have unique models, animations, particle effects, and more, they also allow you to choose any attributes you want and can be used across all of your characters at the same time, thanks to a system called the Legendary Armory. Very handy. To have one of each type of legendary unlocked will set you back over 100,000 gold.
What? 100,000 gold?
Legendaries also require playing multiple areas of the endgame and completing lengthy collections to craft. That's just one area of the endgame grind too. For every inconvenience, you can grind it away.
I want a legendary shield.
Access, trading post access, bigger bags. This even extends into paid upgrades as well because you can buy the cash.
I want that. I'm Bay, you gotta help me get that shield.
Meaning that it's all thrown into the grind as well. Story episodes, maps, character slots, bank space, bag slots, infinite gathering.
Look at this. He's got 3,000 gems. That's a lot of gems, isn't it? How many gems do I have? You know what really made me mad, Iron Bay, is I was really excited about playing some Black Desert, and so I actually purchased a $40 pack. It was actually, I think it was $40, and it was a really good deal. It was normally like $100 for the package, and then I ended up watching a video talking about why Black Desert was so bad, which I agreed to almost every point that was in the video. And then I realized, oh my god, I don't want to play Black Desert because everything he said is correct, is 100% correct, and it's stuff that I've run into in the past, a lot of it, and so I'm like shit, and I of course couldn't get my money back, so I've got a $40 package in Black Desert that I've never even opened, which is kind of sad. Is 3,000? Is that a lot? Hey, dude, I got my bonus today. I got my bonus. Actually, I get my bonus in 7 hours from now, and I'm not going to tell you how much it is, but it's a pretty good bonus. So, how do I find my crystals? Let's see. Oh shit! Look at this. I've got 2,856 gems. Recently, I tend to spend a lot of money. I didn't used to. It's what it is. I'm trying to find a game that's worth playing. You know what I mean? Oh, did I say dude? Shit. Don't say dude. Damn it. It's because my mouth hurts and I'm tired. What can I buy with gems anyway? Here, hold on a second. I want to go back to this video because I actually am. Oh no, you're killing me.
Tools, mount skins, glider skins, uncountable weapon skins, and even upgrading your game to the deluxe version can all be done with pure grinding action.
With pure grinding
if
action.
That sounds interesting. Then you can hunt thousands of achievements as well, including killing 250,000 players in World vs. World, ranking up to 10,000, doing fractals dungeons.
In World of Warcraft, I've probably killed over 750,000 players. I'm not even kidding.
Every day for a year to be a fractal god, or winning 10,000 PvP games to be the legendary champion brawler. The choice is yours, but whatever you choose, it will be enough to keep you occupied for thousands of hours. And if you ever get bored, well, that's fine too, because it's all completely optional. There is no Holy Trinity style gameplay or well-defined roles. Guild Wars 2 has a very flexible build system where you can blend a lot of...
Yeah, we went through the build system already, but the game is pay to win. The game is not an MMO. That's an interesting one. The game is not an MMO. Everything's in the cash shop. He actually, this is pretty cool. He breaks down every single thing that's in the cash shop and what isn't. It's actually really neat. Watch this.
Resources go into open world and story. Everything.
All right, I could do that.
Guild Wars 2 is a free-to-play game with a very low box price and no subscription fee, but that does come at the cost of microtransactions. There are loads of things you can buy to make the game less annoying and increase your quality of life. These items are not found anywhere else except the gem store, but of course you can grind gold to convert to gems if you wish. However, I think this criticism is mostly leveled at in-game rewards like skins and so on, so I think the best way to go about this is to just hit you with the numbers. Note that these numbers will change over time and are probably not exactly right, but they are certainly within a 5% tolerance. And finally, when I say some
like for example, he breaks down each thing like cosmetic, like what's in the game and what's in the cash shop. So right now he says armor skins, 1,806 are in the game, 430 in the store. But when you get to like mount skins, it's hilarious. Watch this one.
Mount skins.
Okay, mount skins. 9 of them you can get in game. 289 of them are in the cash shop. That's because mounts in MMOs are typically one of the biggest money makers for microtransactions. People love mounts. They love cool looking mounts. Everybody does. I do too. We all do. And so yeah, it's just the way it is. But yeah, it's pretty bad that like there's this many in the store, but
9 in-game, including 8 base skins. 289 in the store. 3% in-game. Outfits. 89 in the store. 6 in the game. 6% in the game. Gathering tool skins. 3 in-game. The base
wow,
skins,
they have skins for gathering tools.
54 in the store. 5% in-game. Mail carriers, 4 in the game, 12 in the gem
What's
store.
I never even heard of. I didn't even know there was a mail carrier.
Novelties. These are things like chairs, musical instruments, tonics that change your appearance, and so on. 142 in the game, 44 in the gem store, 76% in game. Finishers. These are animations that play when executing pretty aggressively. If you want more than 2 equipment templates or 3 quality of life, and this is the only basic gameplay feature that is monetized, and quite frankly it shouldn't be. It stands out as the one true black mark on ArenaNet's very
I think I'm Bay's right. I am going to pin that video in the Guild Wars 2 because I think, well, not pin it, but I'm going to put it in there. Great video spelling myths about Guild Wars 2. So, and should we? All right, so that's a really good video. I think it really gives you kind of an overview of what Guild Wars 2 has improved over the days. I'll see you later, I'm Bay. Yeah, I'll talk to you later, man. I think it's a great video. If you're like me and you've kind of run into some of those issues, in the game, or wondered like what is the PvE at the end game? What really is PvE at the end game in this game? And I think he goes over a lot of that stuff pretty well. Anyways, yeah, I don't want to play Guild Wars 2. Not now. Maybe I'll play Guild Wars 2 at some point. I mean, Season of Mastery's coming, so if we look at if we look at the calendar here, I'm leaving on the 12th here. So I'm leaving on the 12th. So my last day of streaming will be the 11th. So the 11th of next week is the last time you'll see me streaming, and then I won't be streaming again until I come back on the 28th. So that's a long time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16 straight days I will not be online. So I'll come back on the 28th, and I'll be playing WoW Season of Mastery like a lot, trying to level up. But I do know at some point I'm going to play Guild Wars 2. If I can push myself, I'll try to get into Final Fantasy 14. It's just I have a hard time playing that game because the combat I don't like. I do want to try playing around, like, if we add Guild Wars 2, but it wasn't doing DirectX 11, which kind of bothered me. Let's see if we can find a video on. See, this is what I do, guys. Normally I do this stuff outside of the stream, so you guys don't normally see me do this stuff. But these are the type of things I do. I mean, I always look for like, are there different skins or different updates coming for MMOs and stuff like that. But Guild Wars 2, Reshade.
Hello, my name.
Now they're using G-Shade, which is what I have here. I have G-Shade installed.
Is Scott, and I would like to show you how to make Guild Wars 2 sharper and a little bit better looking.
I think sharper would be good because Guild Wars 2 does have kind of a smooth, very stylized look.
Or a lot better looking, especially in core. You'll find that in Path of Fire and Heart of Thorns expansions, things tend to look better than core because they were released later. But still, on slower computers, things may look a little bit blurry. G-Shade is a nice tool which is very easy to install. Recently, G-Shade. I run 3 simple filters: Luma Sharpen, Clarity, and...
Yeah, well, Luma Sharpen and Clarity I run in Final Fantasy 14. I haven't run the Vibrance one. I use a couple other ones, but anyways, yeah, G-Shade is what I have, but what's bothering me about G-Shade is that it doesn't look like it wants to run Guild Wars 2 in DirectX 11 mode, which is what I'm currently running it in. So if you go here and pick this, say next, it's saying DirectX 9. It won't even let me pick DirectX 11, so that's experimental for DirectX 9. Maybe this one. Normal. Let's try that. There's an experimental one, I guess. I actually want to see if this works. Screenshot save location. Hmm. I don't remember what the shortcut key is, though. I think I'll remember it, though. Let's try this. I want to try something. I want to see if this works. I think it's control, it's like control F1 or something. Yeah, well, the audio is totally effed up. Yeah. Okay, well, I don't know if it was G-Shade or something totally messed up the audio. Let's try launching it again and see if it's still like that. Yeah, it seems okay now. Okay, so I just have to remember it's control. I don't know why the starting soon screen was up. That's weird. I don't know. Oh, it switched when I went to when I was trying to hit different key combinations to pull up G-Shade inside of Guild Wars 2. It flipped to that screen. Sorry about that. I will catch you guys later. Hope everybody have a good night. Yeah, it's not broken, dude. It was I was trying to figure out the G-Shade keybind, and I must have hit Control F1. I think is it Control F1? Let's see. Control Shift 1. 2. Oh? Yeah, a lot of the overlays are, are key bound. Okay. Alright, I'll catch you later. I am going to jump off. I don't know, it says installation complete. Okay. That was weird that it said that it couldn't do it while it was running, but then it did it. It was like, I can't install the Gshade update because Gshade's running, but installation completed okay. Was it really updating the presets? It says, please wait. Okay, well, I guess it's doing that. All right, I'll catch you guys later. I'm out of here.